there's an interesting little story about what's happening with Larry and David Ellison. These are, of course, Larry Ellison, founder of Oracle, owner of a random island in Hawaii, and owner of a weird, stupid fucking haircut. Huh? What's with the Mark Davis, my guy? The Mark Davis, if you don't know, he is the owner of the Raiders, and he has the worst haircut ever. And it's, I don't know how this is happening, why this is happening. Sometimes you just get caught doing something, I suppose. Larry and David Ellison are building a pro-Trump media behemoth with the president's blessing. The Ellisons Skydance merged with Paramount, gaining control of CBS News. Now the giant might gobble up Warner Brothers Discovery, which includes CNN. So, full disclosure on this, as I have landed an acting role, I am getting paid money by Warner Brothers Discovery right now. And also full disclosure, now that I have done some acting, it honestly doesn't behoove me to do a small podcast like this where I say things that could get me in trouble. That's another full disclosure. And it certainly wouldn't behoove me to talk shit about powerful people in an industry that wields a lot of fear. There's a very small amount of roles. There's smaller and smaller amounts of studios as they all consolidate. Movies are running slimmer margins. There's really no reason to take a risk, especially on someone unknown like me. So it really doesn't behoove me to talk about topics like this. And it certainly wouldn't behoove me to, talk shit about one of the most powerful people in Hollywood, Larry Ellison's son, David Ellison, who did some acting back in the day, that flies planes apparently, and was involved in Top Gun, and then had this Skydance Media now took over Paramount, which took over CBS News, and they just laid off a bunch of people at Paramount as they are also looking to buy WB. So you could have most of the roles in Hollywood really coming under one person, and you've got, HBO is owned by them, CNN, CBS, Warner Brothers, all the studios, there's no reason to do it on a podcast that doesn't get that many plays, and especially in a media environment that is becoming more and more dominated by people at the top trying to exert power over people. Now, this isn't a free speech thing, right? Because, hey, how's it free speech? I'm your employer. That's the reality of the world. If I'm your employer, what's free speech? It's just whether I want you to do it or not. Now, the interesting thing there is obviously, of course, once you own all the speech and you're the employer, now you really control a huge scope of free speech. Now, also on top of that, I think these are the same people that are going to be in charge of potentially owning and buying TikTok, right? So there's really no incentive to even discuss a story like this at all, except to say, fuck you, bitch, it's on site. What? Calm down, dude. Hey, don't own everything. Or be chill. The interesting thing about it, and I actually wouldn't be going that hard because I bet the guy's cool. Again, he flies planes. I bet he and I would vibe together. I'm pretty sure, knock one back, hey, I'm good on a golf course. I'm a fun guy. I'm a locker room guy. I'm a good hang. What are we going to say? I'm fun for everybody. I'm good in the room. Here's the problem that I have with it. If you want to consolidate all the major properties in Hollywood, including making movies, including making TV, including owning streamers, including news networks. And the way you're doing it is by cozying up to Trump, who doesn't even attempt to hide his blatant and obvious corruption that I personally believe runs antithetical to the vast, vast majority of American citizens, despite the many American citizens who I think I'm helping by saying this who would disagree with it. if you're going to own everything by using the power of a corrupt president, that by nature means it will restrict your speech and sets a horrible precedent for the ongoing nature of the country, then I'm going to be critical and say, fuck you, it's on site. So I just think that's not great. And that's something that's a little bit, again, I don't mean to be, this episode is about radical optimism in the face of mildly negative vibes. Okay? It's about that. And it's about how things are going to be good. Because I think eventually people will be like, stop it. I think that's the takeaway, is eventually people will be like, you cut that out, you crazy guys. You cut that out, you crazy guys. Now, what's interesting is the people like, and I've seen David Ellison has said things like, they want to return CBS to a voice that speaks for the 70% of the country that isn't hard left or hard right. And I would consider myself in that 70%. But I don't think that's the net effect when you hire the free press to run CBS News, when you then will purchase CNN and make it slant more towards Trump as well. Like, if people see everything going one direction, they're going to break really hard left. And I don't want this country to be a situation where you have people doing it's basically fascism or communism. That's what I don't want. That's what Daddy doesn't want. But you will create that if you do this. Now, in fairness, and while this deal was signed before the merger went through, since taking over Paramount, there's been no problem with the $1.5 billion paid to the South Park creators. Hey, they make a good show. Money talks. They're critical of Trump when they want to be, and that's good. I'm not saying it's all over, folks. You can't do that. It's not true. HBO, John Oliver, does he seem pro-Trump? No. Do I think that show's going off the air? No. Makes money. Does well. Why? He's saying shit people need to hear, want to hear, and like to hear. So I'm not saying it's all over. I'm not saying that mergers are the worst thing in the world. I am saying that the problem with this merger is that now that Paramount and the Ellisons have tried to buy WB is considering its options. It does have a fiduciary responsibility to get the best price per share for its shareholders, and also has to accept a deal that will get through the administration. The administration, without even trying to pretend like they care about antitrust, is just shaking everybody down like a mob boss. The administration said WB would do best to sell to the partner with a history of transactions going through the Trump administration. I'm paraphrasing. But that's essentially what they said. They're basically saying, you can sell to the guys we like or not. That's it. And that's where we're at. And that's exactly how everything in this world works. It's exactly how Trump just pardoned Binance founder Changpeng Zhao. Zhao pleaded guilty in 2023 to a money laundering charge. He was an example of a lot of the dirtiness in the crypto game. And Trump is, of course, pardoning him because he helped launch World Liberty Financial, a cryptocurrency company that Trump's sons, Eric and Donald Jr., launched earlier this year. This ties in directly with the fact that Trump, who was already known for being rich, has accrued more riches in his crypto endeavors than any other thing he's ever done. So that's interesting. I feel like the crypto part of the whole Trump thing, like, it doesn't get as much play because it's not as sexy. People are like mad he's knocking down the ballroom or whatever, and that's fine. That's a whole nother story. But it's like the crypto thing is just blatant. The crypto thing is an obvious way for him to get paid directly, for him to get rich directly from the president. His family has gained $1.8 billion since he got reelected in 2024 via gifts and crypto. Imagine Imagine what the people who were talking about the corruption of Hillary Clinton taking $500,000 or whatever the fuck it was to speak at Goldman Sachs or Morgan Stanley would say. And by the way, they were making a decent point then, just not anymore. Oh well. Oh well. None of it really matters. None of it really matters to some people. And this is what I think that the lesson to take away that I think is good to learn is if you're being shitty in a variety of ways, people can only come at you for some of them. If you have, and I can talk about this because it was in the comedy world, ICE agents went and they arrested the night manager at Laugh Factory Chicago. This was on Deadline. They showed up. There's video of it. Laugh Factory Chicago is crowdsourcing to assist night manager Nathan Griffin with legal funds after he was arrested Friday morning. He was born in America, but agents tackled him to the ground and took him into custody without due process for attempting to intervene with an immigration operation. Video of the arrest shows 4 agents pushing him to the ground and handcuffing him and briefly pinning his mother down. In the process, after being arrested and hidden throughout the system, he finally resurfaced after about 4 hours after his detainment in FBI custody, awaiting a hearing for federal assault charge, which would carry 8 years in prison if convicted. They are saying that he attempted to impede and obstruct federal officers by attempting to shut the car door on an agent's leg. The individual was immediately detained and turned over to the FBI for investigation. So yeah, you have that, and you can be mad about that because you're like, hey, this is federal agents coming into our community and taking people, and these charges could be absolute bullshit, and obviously we'll see, but like if you're just closing the door, it doesn't seem that, we'll see, right? You can be mad at that. Well, then also you could be like, well, I'm actually mad at the crypto thing, or I'm mad at the Epstein thing, or I'm mad at this, or I'm mad at that, and then 10 more things get to happen, which is why I think, and my advice to everyone on this show is to try and be a good person because you'll feel better, because it's a better vibe, because I do think, believe it or not, even when the world seems scary or it's not going your way, like you all really only ever have control of yourself. And as they say, you got to start by cleaning up your own side of the street, you know? You want to take care of your body. You want to make sure you live in a nice space. Keep a clean home. Get a robot to do it. I don't know. You want to make sure you're taking care of your mentality, you know, your all that. You want to make sure you're seeing friends. You got to be social. It's not all about self-care. That doesn't work. Can't just do that. Got to make sure to take care of yourself and be a good person. And I do believe if you do those things, then good things come back. Maybe not all the time, but if you live in alignment, you'll feel better. You'll have a better experience. You'll have a better time on earth. You'll grow as the individual. What else are we here for, right? I believe in all that. But, if you are going to be a real piece of shit, if you're going to be a fucker, do it all at one time. Do everything. Do everything at once. And then that way when people are like, dude, what is wrong with you? You got to stop driving drunk. You got to be like, well, you know what I should stop doing? I should stop stealing Wish money from fountains. And then people are like, holy shit, what? You're going to, who even uses change anymore? And you're like, I don't even know if it's the change or if I just want to make sure kids' wishes don't come true. And then it's like, whoa, let's talk about this. We gotta talk about that. This is like a deeper thing. We might need to find out what's been going on in your childhood or take you to a therapist or something like that. And now everybody's talking about that, and you can keep stealing from the homeless shelter. Do you understand what I'm saying? You could get free soup. I guess the soup's already free. Maybe steal from somewhere else. That's a bad example. Don't steal from the homeless. It's the worst place to steal from. Everything smells the same. Why do they all smell the same? A question for a different day. It's just a general gamey kind of... Anyway. Don't be a bad person. But strategically, if you are, do it all at once. Okay, I'm gonna let's talk next about about this little letter from Luigi. We'll do some fun stories on the back here. What's going on? It's Joey Avery. This is a clip from a full episode of my podcast. It'll all be on this playlist, so if you like this, click the next one and you'll be able to listen through.